Welcome back to the Survivor Conquest podcast. I am Isaiah.
I'm Kyle.
And I am Will Coleman.
Welcome, Will. This is a big day for the Conquest podcast. We have some real diversity coming in today.
Oh yeah.
Last episode, we had our first woman ever. This episode, we get Will Coleman. Not only is he biracial, but he's some other stuff too. So this is a big episode for us. Will Coleman, you can introduce yourself, do a little spiel, and then we'll jump right into the episode.
I was the final juror in Survivor Conquest twice. Imir once called me annoying in the player intro video for one of the games. I've been taking a little break from the community. I've been really the season so far, which has been very interesting as a fan because it hasn't been for any gameplay reasons. There hasn't been a lot of drama. I've just been really enjoying seeing these characters, seeing these people that we know, and seeing them work now that we know what makes them tick. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So, I mean, Isaiah and I both, I think like this, but if I have to be honest, I think this is probably my least favorite episode of the three so far. But maybe it's just gonna kind of the new season kind of stink is kind of wearing off from the first couple episodes and into what was a pretty basic swap episode. So it's like the excitement of seeing these people back and being the first fraternity season in so long. It's kind of worn off a little bit for me, but I still love this episode. Seeing all these people interact was a lot of fun. I don't know what your thoughts were, Isaiah.
To be honest, I disagree. This one was probably my favorite one. I just feel like there's so much to talk about with the swap, all three tribes. I could see us honestly having a solid conversation on just about everybody. I know we're not going to spend like 20 minutes on each person, but I just think there's more talking points. And I know we don't really do structure, but I think going tribe by tribe actually would make sense for this episode, given the swap.
If we know the tribes, good luck.
Oh, yeah, we actually don't. Well, I don't. Uh,
Well, you got to figure. You're the host of the Survivor Conquest
no,
podcast. Pull
no,
them up.
we're 50-50 here. So let's just, I don't
No.
know. Actually, you know what? No, no, no. Before we talk about the new tribes, let's just talk about the whole situation on Sela before they had swapped. So I guess we could talk about the way they handled the information about the idol. And I don't know why, honestly, is it really that hard on Survivor to get a moment to talk to somebody before like going to a challenge or something? I feel like easily Christian could have just been like, "Oh, Emily, want to get water with me?" and then just tell her right then and there. But I guess not. And he told her on the mat, which honestly, I think if that was like his only opportunity, I think he was better off just not telling her at all. Uh, so yeah, if anybody wants to chime in on that.
Yeah, I honestly think if you're on the mat, you're in front of everyone, people are going to be seeing you whisper something right into your ear right before. If this is going to be an issue with them, it's most likely going to be more of an issue if they get swapped together. So if they were to get swapped away from each other, probably would have been even worse because she just gets this information that she doesn't fully, isn't able to fully comprehend until they're like talking together one on one. So it worked out for them that they were able to that Emily and Christian were able to get on the same tribe and talk it out with each other. But we even see it pisses Emily off for a second. So imagine if she went to a completely different tribe and she had to just ruminate on that completely alone. That probably would have caused her to flip against Christian even harder.
But it was okay. I don't think either of them played super amazing with this whole situation. Obviously, like I okay, I saw maybe two or three episodes of 45. So I got the intro to Emily where she was just awful and she was a bit outspoken and maybe she let her emotions drive her a bit much. But from my understanding, her arc of that season is that she grew to be a bit smarter than that and hold her tongue a little bit. And this season, I mean, she seemed like she was doing that, and maybe it's just better for her that she realized so quickly I kind of mishandled the situation, but she was pretty emotional this season from somebody that I was expecting to be a bit more of an analytical player. But then, yeah, Christian, I mean, evidently, I mean, Isaiah, you asked, how do you not time? I don't know how they didn't, but evidently they didn't. And so Christian just had to tell her on the mat. It worked out, I think, that they ended up on the same tribe because that could have gone a lot worse if they didn't.
Yeah, it is interesting though because I remember watching Emily's preseason interviews. She said, "Really, the lessons that I took away from last time, I'm gonna throw them out the window." She said, "I want to go into this game like in our preseason press for 50." She said, like, "I go into this game. I don't care about being softer. I don't care about that. I want to go into the game and show that I can just be myself and be unapologetic." And I love it for that. It's making great TV, but it's beginning to realize Emily is a little bit messy, and we love that for her, but it you're beginning to see the flaws about it, but you all are also seeing some her strengths, which it seems that she's been able to do, make some decent
She didn't
bonds.
want to apologize for herself, and then in this episode, it's she said, "Christian, don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Wow, that's interesting.
I was gonna
Uh,
say, yeah, no,
No,
like
but
Emily played incredibly messy in this episode, but seeing the end result of her messiness, I don't think it actually went so bad for her. And I honestly, I said this like while watching the episode. I think the reason why Christian forgave her and that didn't really tarnish the alliance leaking that information is because I don't know if everybody here is aware. I think they're both really good friends outside of the game with the whole Rob has a podcast, Blood Clock Tower situation. So I think regardless, they're going to work together, given the situation. But what I think is the most impressive with Emily tonight in this episode is that she also managed to like preserve this relationship with Ozzy, not just preserve it, I guess, but even strengthen it, getting Ozzy to vote alongside them, even though that's probably not, in his best interest and not particularly the type of people I guess he wants to vote out. He's all for that old school or type mentality, sort of alliance. So even though on paper, I think, yeah, Emily played terribly theoretically, looking at how the episode went for her, I mean, did she really play that bad?
she pulled.
I her because for the past two episodes she was throwing out Ozzy's name, and I was really worried that that would throwing out Ozzy's name and not voting him out. I'm worried that would be coming to bite her in the butt. It seems that we're getting to the window where that won't be as much of an issue.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Ozzy in this whole situation, I guess we're gonna cover. Is that the Sela tribe?
No,
I
this is
think so.
Nubat. This
I
is
believe so.
This is
Nubatu. So
Nuvatu.
I'll just say,
Okay.
what is this? Wait. Oh, okay.
He
Hold
said,
on.
"What are you doing?
Oh
We're
no.
filming a
No.
podcast.
No,
Don't
the
just
thing.
shut up."
No, I thought my screen was sharing again because the Paramount Plus thing came up. But no, that's the new Vatu tribe. So I'll just say like who's on this tribe. We have Angelina, Q, Stephanie, Christian,
Had
Emily,
to.
Ozzy,
Had
and Mike.
to.
Huh?
Okay, so yeah, the big narrative here was the David versus Goliath trio, which I mean, yeah, I was interested in it, and I don't know, going into this episode, I really it's just because they're on 50 together. In my mind, I was almost thinking of them as a trio from David versus Goliath. They're not. I was substituting Christian for Nick in my brain. Christian or Nick's not here, but they both voted Christian out, and as Christian pointed out, they tried to vote him out multiple times in David versus Goliath. Obviously, it's been years. What did Angelina say? 7 years since David versus Goliath. That's plenty of time to mend fences. It helps that they're all pretty popular characters. So I mean, it's not surprising that they're all a big, strong trio, but it is interesting. I think that's a really dominating narrative for this tribe. I to see that they all got to stick around and that Angelina finally gets to have an opinion about something, which we're hearing that she has a lot of opinions and doesn't do anything. It's fun to finally see some of the opinions this episode.
Yeah, I think when you go through something like Survivor, no matter like if you work together, if you didn't, if you're able to like stick out a significant amount of time, there's going to be that bond together. Really
Well,
be.
not with Maria and Charlie,
Oh,
as we
yeah.
have
Oh
learned.
yeah, we can get into that. When Rizzo just like flat out asked it in front of everyone, I was cackling so hard. It just imagine asking Lex, like, yeah, you and Bob, you guys like talk to each other, right? In front of everyone. And I am someone who has not necessarily enjoyed Charlie in the past because he's a I don't want to bring up the word robotic because I know that opens some
Gonna
wounds, but
trigger
like,
something.
but he's a very logical person, but I found it really fun that seeing him absolutely crash out over something that most people would not care. We know his trauma with it, and I view Charlie as a pretty reasonable human being. And just seeing how much that bothered him, I don't know, it made me like him a little bit more. You see there's a lot
See a
more.
little bit of that. You see a little bit of that fire that Maria saw in
Yeah, sort
Kenzie
of fire
as
in
to
his
why
eyes.
she
Yeah,
got that
sort of like
vote.
that.
But yeah, so I mean, I didn't see 46 at all. But yeah, Charlie, I'll say this. I mean, it's difficult to really predict the future in Survivor, especially because we've seen barely anyone on that tribe even go to tribal council. But I can't imagine, just editing wise, they'd show this if this works out for Charlie. I feel like showing that real emotional side to him, that rage, it's not really what Survivor wants to support. So I find it difficult to imagine this works out. But that could also just be they're showing us what happened and it's fun content. So they're showing it. It's really difficult to predict the future with a tribe like that we've seen so few go to tribal council. But I am curious to see. And Charlie seems fun.
Yeah, and what's even funnier is that Rizzo was like completely lying to Charlie. Like he 100%
Hmm.
did vote for his number one at the end to win.
Yeah.
He was just lying about that for whatever reason, which I don't understand his reason for lying about that. Savannah was already voted off at this point, so I think it may have helped him if he like let them know that they were all close. But yeah, just I don't know. That was just a very fun comedy of errors.
Yeah, you actually just said what I wanted to say about the whole situation about him not being truthful. And I think it's funny that you call him robotic because I don't think you know, but Charlie was my preseason winner pick. Oh, I guess he still is my winner pick. So I guess I can ask you, Will, who is or who was, if you have a winner pick this season?
Yeah, so actually, Charlie was my preseason winner pick for a while, and then I
Oh,
started
wow, really?
watching. But then I did start watching like the interviews, and I saw he had a bit of a target. So my preseason winner pick was actually Coach, and I did not expect Coach to be acting
You
the way
didn't
that
pick
he's
coach.
acting. From his interviews, I fully expected this to be a new coach. I fully expected him to go in to like be playing into his perception, but to like not actually genuinely care about that honor and integrity thing. I thought he would just be like preaching that for strategy. But no, it seems like that old coach is still very much there, very much deep inside, and it does not seem like an act at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's never been an act for coach, but I did also buy into that. It seemed like we were getting a new coach. And I think we're not really getting coach. What is it? Is this his fourth season? It is his fourth season. We're not getting coach 4.0. I think we're kind of getting coach 3.2. He's pretty much the same guy. Like there's a little bit more self-awareness, and I think honestly I mainly see it in his social media. Like he seems aware of the perception that he has, but it is also just genuinely who he is. And this is actually kind of an apt thing to talk about in this season at Tribal Council, I believe. It was Jeff asked somebody the question of like, you can come in and say that you've grown, but at the end of the day, you're like, are you still really the same person deep down inside? And I feel like that applies to so many people we've seen this season. Coach, it's becoming more clear that he's still brilliant. I still love Coach, but he's the same Coach. And beyond that, Colby, he's still shown promise. He's shown an active willingness to play the game, but he's still an old school guy. We see him pair up with Coach. We see him pair up with Joe. Those people that you look at them and you just say, that's somebody Colby's going to vibe with. Colby's not going to be a schemer this season. Like the person I think we've seen real growth with is Ozzy. I think he's shown some real growth this season. But it's a really interesting thing to bring up by Jeff this episode of people changing, or are they really just going to be the same once they actually pen hits parchment?
I disagree with the assertion about Colby. I do think Colby has shown a lot of growth. I don't think he can completely change who he is as a person, and I think who you are as a person may, tie into how you're going to play the game of Survivor. But we saw in Heroes versus Villains, he very much didn't care about strategy at all whatsoever. Apparently, according to him, he actually called Jesse Tannenbaum this season and like begged him to be on season like on 50 a year before they started casting. It seems that he does care about strategy, he does care about the relationships. It does seem that he's doing a good job at actively putting himself into a position into a good position, which I don't think the old Colby from like Hero versus Villains in Australia would do. I think he used to just be in whatever good position he's in, just because of the natural circumstances, because he's physically fit, because the tribe needs him. I think right now he is actively making the relationships he needs, and to me that is a lot of growth.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't trying to diss Kobe. I love Kobe this season. I'm so happy he's kind of been able to rewrite the fan perception of him this season. I just more meant like you can predict who he's more likely to work with, but there is just more intentionality with it. And like I was so impressed last episode when he was like actively like looking out while they were searching Aubrey's bag. Like I would never expect that from HVV Colby.
Everyone. You know who I feel like I definitely think that assertion is very true for Stephanie. I do not see anything different that Stephanie is doing on this time around. And I if anyone wants to challenge me on that assertion, I would love to hear it, but I'm very much seeing a very similar Stephanie to what we saw in Guatemala.
So Isaiah has been quiet for a little bit here, so I'm gonna
No, I
let
was gonna
him
say
beat Boop in a
nothing
second
about
here. No, shut
Stephanie.
up. I had something to say first. I was gonna
Oh
say
God.
this. You can beat Boop in a second, bitch. Anyway, I was gonna
Whoa.
say this. Stephanie, yeah, I said this earlier, like a podcast or two ago, that Stephanie, there's always like one or two or three like brunette women on a season of Survivor in the 40s, and they all just seem the same to me. And it takes one or two of them getting voted out, or it takes like 5 or 6 episodes for me to really be able to tell them apart. And even though I know everyone this season, I've never seen any of Stephanie's seasons, so Stephanie is absolutely that person to me. And if she was on any season in the 40s, she wouldn't stand out to me at all if she was a first time player. I said that like a podcast or two ago, but my actual point here is Stephanie is the first person this season to vote incorrectly and not go home. She voted for she voted for Angelina this episode. That's the first vote cast by somebody that didn't go home that was incorrect. So unfortunate for her. Even Ozzy voted correctly.
Speaking of Stephanie, no, I don't want to challenge your take on Stephanie. And also, I talked about her, I don't know if it was last episode or maybe the one before that, about like how much I hated Stephanie. Well, especially in the preseason, I thought she was incredibly annoying. And I assume with how much she talked about 50 and I guess like going against the NDAs that they signed, I have a feeling we're going to see her for a while, unfortunately. Which
Yeah, it has
sucks.
to bounce back. She has to rebound. She has to boomerang back at some point because yeah, she talked a lot about how excited she was for 50. So she has to boomerang back at some point and do well because as of right now, I don't see why she would be so hyped about this season.
Yeah, no, I definitely when I saw that she had the first confessional of the season, I got really, really, really scared. I don't think that at this point she's going to be winning, but I definitely think if she makes it to the merge, I don't see a reason why anyone would want to target Stephanie. She's not a big gamer, she's not a big strategist. From what I know about her in her previous season, she seems to be someone who pisses off juries pretty well. So she's a good person to bring into the end. So I am worried that if she is not taken care of soon, she will definitely have a pretty deep run into her.
Speaking of like juries and stuff, I think someone we can talk about that's kind of a good tie-in is like Chrissy. I feel like last time she played the game, she didn't win the game because her social game was bad. And we had the whole moment with Coach and Chrissy and how Coach basically told her that she needs to like, tone it down a little bit. So, and I think she took that as, her social game is bad because she talks too much. I don't think it's necessarily her amount of communication. I just think it's the way she's communicating with people, being the mother and bossing people around. So hopefully we could see a bit of a course correct with Chrissy's social game this time around because I guess it's bad for a different reason. Uh, so yeah.
Yeah, I did feel really bad for her when that happened. Like, imagine if Benjamin Coach Wade is telling you you're doing too much. Like, and especially the way that he like said it too. He was like, no, keep it. Like, if I was on the show, like knowing because you're going on Survivor, you're putting yourself out there. Like, it is an extremely potentially damaging thing for your mental health. You're putting yourself out there for the world. You're putting yourself in a position where you could lose $1 million because people don't like you. Like that is. Oh, are you guys frozen? Okay, no, I think you're good.
No,
Okay.
we're just intently listening.
Yes. Okay. Like that is extremely damaging. And to tell someone that, hey, an entire group of people was going to vote you out because they didn't like you, that I feel like you have to deliver that in a way with a lot of tact. And the way that coach did it, it was very much like a like no, there was no way that she was ever going to take that well. I feel like there had to be a bit more of a hey, listen, I love you. Like I didn't want you to go on. This is what people were saying, but I'm not going to feel that way. He could have used it as a bonding moment, but I feel like the way it came across I would have maybe destroyed her. And we even see her saying, hey, maybe now I have to make a move. Maybe now I have to like switch things up. So that I feel like that could end up potentially biting coach in the
Yeah, I
future.
was waiting for a moment where Chrissy's confessional was going to turn around and say, like, why did Coach have to tell me like that? Especially when she said that she needed like girl talk or girl time to go and talk to Genevieve and whoever else it was on the sand about it. But it never really did turn around, which maybe it will next episode. But yeah, it didn't really turn around on all those like older guy crew. One thing I feel like we should wrap back around if we're going tribe by tribe. I kind of want to talk Q a little bit we'll wrap up that tribe and Mike White. So I feel like Mike White had an interesting back and forth up this episode. But Q for me, like I said, I've never seen 46. I've been saying the entire preseason, the first couple episodes of this season, I would be fine with a couple episodes of Q, get a few Q-isms, and then he's gone. Because I don't need Q here till the final five. Now that Q's actually gone, one, I didn't feel like I got really any Qisms. I feel like he said cancel Christmas once,
Like
kind of
once.
offhandedly, but that was about it. He had a bigger Q moment in the season teaser that he's going to cancel my doctor appointment and my vacation, which I don't like. I like my vacations and my doctor's appointment. I live in Canada, it's free. But I don't know. I actually thought Q was a pretty sound player. I mean, definitely swap screwed, unless they try and target Aubrey on the original tribe and then she plays her idol, which very well could have happened. But at least by alliance lines, very swap screwed Q here. And he didn't do too bad. I appreciated his little messiness there at the end. But for what was touted as this amazing character Q, he was pretty toned down this season from what I was expecting.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll finish. I'll finish real fast.
Sorry,
But yeah,
sorry,
no.
sorry.
Yeah, it's disappointing because I think what everybody wanted out of Q are the Q-isms, the big character that he was in 46, and we didn't really get that. But at the same time, it's nice to appreciate that. I feel like he wanted to win this time, and he was actually playing the game. So mixed emotions, I guess. We didn't get the big character, but we got a more strategic version of Q, which I guess is also nice.
Yeah, I he definitely surprised me a bit as a player, especially watching his preseason. I thought he was going to come in. I thought he was going to be a mess. I thought he was immediately going to like go and blow up his game the second he got a chance. But no, it seems that like they're literally he just got voted out because I don't think that there are really any options. There was no way that Emily was going to flip. Even if Emily did flip, it would cause rocks. I don't think Emily was ever going to go to rocks. But even so, like Emily just had no reason to flip. So in the end, all that he had was Stephanie, and I really don't think that that there really was a way out of this, unless if he had his vote and maybe could play a shot in the dark. With that said,
It sucks to lose Q, but I mean, I appreciated Q for the time he was here. Moving on to Mike White. Now, I don't know what your guys' were thinking as the moment was happening, but when he was saying, I'm gonna vote for you, Stephanie. Like, I thought, wow, is really what Mike White is doing? Because I didn't not expect it from Mike White. He's rich, he's famous, he could be coming out here not to really play the game, and so he's just gonna say what he thinks and just have fun and poke around and do random shit. But then when he pulled the veil was pulled back and he said, "We're actually voting for Q," I was just like, "Yeah, there's that Mike White that I remember being a good strategist in David vs. Goliath." Like I really appreciated Mike. It wasn't anything crazy this episode, but it's those little bit of gameplay evolution or just like stuff like that that I feel like we kind of missed in the 40s that we're getting back now with all these old school players where we're getting a bit more interesting dynamics, a bit more dynamic social plays.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see, what happens with Mike White, with the preview and whatnot. Apparently, people are seeing him as not a figurehead, but he was definitely the person that was leading the vote. And I really wish that he actually voted for Stephanie because of what I said earlier. I think Stephanie's unbearable. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I got to say.
yeah. I mean, I will say I am slightly disappointed that the first time that we're seeing him play with two of his friends and one person who was immediately a plus one. You know, I would have loved to see Mike White in the first round of gameplay, just purely going off of his social game, which is from everything that I know was his best strength in David versus Goliath. But it is really fun seeing, he's also just such a fun character and he has such a fun energy. A big part of his strategy, I think, is playing up, that he's a bit of a goofball, and you're definitely seeing that in the way that he's like interacting with people. So I'm enjoying him so far. I don't think he has a good shot of winning because I don't see people, wanting to give $1 million to someone who is that rich. But I'm definitely enjoying him on the season so far.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know if anyone else has anything to say on that tribe specifically. I think we pretty much covered it. I don't know if anyone has anything else to say.
I did really enjoy that one section where Q was like, if anyone's gonna vote out my number one, it's gonna be me. So I feel like that Q was that got me satisfied for that episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
I
We got the cue I was kind of expecting. He still felt a little neutered, but we got like 5 minutes of the
Hmm.
cue I was kind of expecting to get.
And
Now
he
moving
did.
on, I think we should cover the shut up. We should
No,
cover the tribe
okay, I'm
that
gonna just say this real quick. Also, throwback to 46, he did suggest well, he did tell Mike White to, just vote for me. So we got that too. But okay, go ahead, Kyle.
I was gonna say the one tribe that I feel like we definitely got the least from. It was the Suri tribe with Jonathan D. Whoever's on that
Yeah,
tribe. I
Charlie,
can't remember.
Rizzo, Camilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I forgot that the Charlie and Rizzo thing was on this tribe. We kind of covered that a little bit, but honestly, the thing I was going to talk about is the Jonathan D duo. It's not really a duo, just they were talking, but talking about targeting Suri. I was not in any way expecting this tribe to go to tribal council. I just felt like this is a narrative that's being pushed off to future episodes. Expect them to like an episode is what I would anticipate. But I feel like this tribe was very quiet, other than the casual talk of taking out Sari and then this big Charlie Rizzo situation, which I don't know if any of you guys want to cover that a little bit.
Uh,
um
No, go ahead. Go ahead, guys.
no,
there you
I
want to go.
mean, I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, Jonathan, I think is somebody that we didn't talk about earlier. When it comes to being somebody who's like kind of like changing this time around. I know we didn't see that much of Jonathan in this episode, but I think in previous episodes we have definitely seen that he's making an effort to change and become more strategic.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that Jonathan is doing really, really, really well. He was probably the person that I was least excited for coming into this season, but it does seem like, you can clearly tell he has a more positive energy when he's interacting with people. You can clearly tell that he is putting a lot of effort into his social game. I remember watching his preseason interview, he like kept on repeating like Boston Rob told me to like smile more or something. And he repeated it 5 times. And I was laughing at him at the time. But it's working, Seems that people like him. It seems that people trust him. Um, we will see what happens with Tribe if it goes to Tribal. I kind of hope that they don't have to go to Tribal for a while because I feel like it just seems like there's a clear majority on that tribe already, so it feels like it would be kind of not interesting, but he is definitely doing a lot better, and I think he is unfortunately one of the people that is at the top of the list for potentially winning the season right now.
So it depends because this is a season where, I mean, I even said this earlier on, but in the pre-merge for 42, Jonathan was a generally well-regarded character. He seemed socially aware with not being overbearing towards Marianne, despite Marianne ticking him off. But then in the post-merge, he was just loyalty with immunity, and that was all he was. And maybe we're gonna see that exact same switch this season. But there, yeah, I like Jonathan. I liked him enough in 42. I like him this season. So he's interesting enough, but he could also just be that one player who's getting that growth at it where he comes in not respected and then he leaves having shown some capability as a player. On that tribe as well is Sari, who was kind of talked about as a target. And honestly, D is somebody that I'm surprised has been so quiet. I was fully expecting some kind of Matt chat where Jeff asked D about being the only winner left now. But obviously, they didn't reveal that Savannah knew or that Savannah was the winner, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. But Dee is the last winner left at 20. It was at 21 people left, and she was the last winner left. And she has had such a quiet edit so far. She had like what, maybe one or two confessionals in the first two episodes, maybe a confessional this episode. Like it's surprising how quiet she's been.
I don't think she got a confessional at all this episode.
She
I mean,
did.
I
She
can.
talked about
Oh, she did.
Suri.
Oh yeah, 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 that's right. But I mean, I think that's good for D though, being the only winner in the game. I think if anything, that kind of like puts less attention on her. And I do want to talk about that tribe because I know Will, you said or somebody said it that there was a clear majority, but who is the clear majority on that tribe? Because I know it's majority Kahlo, like there's three Kahlo. Wait, no, there's four Kahlo, but I don't see them all really sticking together because it seems like Charlie has a thing for Rizzo, wanting Rizzo out of the game, and I don't, and I know Dee and Jonathan want Cerie, so I feel like nobody's really on the same page.
Yeah, it'll be definitely like a power struggle per se, but I really don't know if so who is it? It's Jonathan, it's D, um
Mm.
Camilla,
uh and
Rizzo,
no
Devin,
Riz-
and Cerie. I think
Suri.
that's the whole
oh, but
tribe.
I meant on from the original Blue Tribe, sorry.
Oh yeah, just Charlie,
Yeah.
Dee, Jonathan, and Camilla. Those four.
Yeah. It would be yeah, I don't necessarily know if they would be flipping on each other per se. It'll be interesting to see who the ultimate target is. Um I there is technically a chance because Sari does have an extra vote if her, Devins, and Rizzo could potentially work together and do something with that. That would make it a tie. But it does seem that Sari doesn't seem to be the biggest fan of Rizzo right now. So I don't know how you guys see that relationship potentially working out in the future.
I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen Suri work with harder to get along with characters than Rizzo, and Rizzo already proved that he's good socially. Obviously, we see more Riz God in confessionals than we do Rizzo. It seems like he's probably a bit more personable on the island, if I had to actually guess, compared to what we're shown on TV, because he was like originally the target on his starting tribe, and then he won people over. Colby thought he was annoying, and then he liked Rizzo. So I feel like if I saw that tribe going to tribal council, I think the initial murmurings would be that Cerie's gonna go because it's Cerie. But then here comes Charlie and Rizzo. Boom, 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 boom. And that's the narrative that takes over for that tribal council because that seems like some real immediate setup. Like I don't see that going to the back burner where I can see this whole get Cerie out going to the back burner. I mean, hell, that's what Cerie is famous for. She's always a problem for another day. She always squeaks by.
And they still have that idol that's like hidden at tribal.
They
And
do.
so yeah, that could work. We actually saw in I think BB 25 when Suri played that season. There was a very similar Rizzo-esque character named Corey that would ask her the similar things and be like, oh, what was it like on Exile Island? Something that we probably would all ask Suri if we ever got to meet her. And it was a very similar thing. She started out very annoyed by him, but he ended up growing on her. So we could see that potentially working out. But
I
yeah.
think the reason why Rizzo is less Riz God, I guess, at least so far from what we've seen in the edit, is because this is like an older group. I feel like the whole Riz God thing isn't going to be as appealing. I don't know. I think 49 was a much younger crowd. And like he said, I think in the second episode, he course correct. He thought he was coming across very hyper and whatnot. I think one thing we haven't talked about at all, which I'm surprised we haven't talked about, is the whole situation with Aubrey. Aubrey once again on her new tribe being on the outs. Everybody wants her out for some reason, and I don't know what it is about Aubrey's attitude just in this season as a whole. She seems like very down. I feel like did she even want to play this season? I don't know if it's just me. I felt like she
Yeah, I'm
just
not
isn't
sure.
in
Well,
it.
she was the last minute replacement for Amanda Kimmel, I believe.
Yes.
That's what the scuttlebutt is. But actually, I'm curious. Okay, I don't know if either of you do, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Do either of you remember what her game was like in Game Changers? Because I remember Ko Wrong enough, and I remember Edge of Extinction enough because there wasn't a ton to remember. But Game Changers, I can't for the life of me. I know she was pretty purpled, but I don't remember at all what she was like.
Yeah,
Game
in
Changers. Go
Game
ahead.
Changers, she was. Oh, do you want to go, Isaiah?
No, go
Or
ahead. Go ahead.
okay.
Go.
On Game Changers, she was like on the bottom a lot. But actually, Aubrey was my second winner pick coming into this season, right below Coach, because even though I kind of came into like she was on the bottom, but she was able to make it through. She got like spoiler alert. She got like fifth place, you know. But
Fucking game changers.
so just in case
Oh
anyone
my
hasn't seen,
goodness,
just in
no!
case
People are
anyone hasn't
watching
I
season
haven't
50 and
gotten to
haven't
that
seen Game
episode yet.
Changers yet with
Yes, if
like
you're watching 50 and have not seen Game Changers yet. But yeah, she, didn't play the best game, but she was able to struggle through, get fifth place. And that's why she was like one of my winner picks. She played well from the top. She's been able to play from the bottom. From all the accounts that I've heard of Aubrey from like the players, it seems that Aubrey very much comes into this game having like a wall up, with people. But that once that wall is down, then it's like, okay, she's like locked in.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely was sorry. That was definitely what I was thinking. She seems like a player that needs time to settle in, which in Survivor is not great. We saw it, I mean, kind of a lot more her fault in Edge of Extinction, where she goes home with what the extra vote and the idol. But she definitely seems like a player in Po Wrong. Apparently, in Game Changers, she needs that time to settle in and find her footing. A little similar to Suri, although I feel like Suri's better overall. But
It's
maybe we're waiting for that.
Yeah, it seems that she can't really like fake it with people. It seems that like once you have that genuine connection, it's genuine and it's there, but she can't really fake that. And in the new era where it's so quick and you won't have so little time to make relationships, that makes it, that can make it really hard when everyone's just like go, go, go. But we've seen, she has an idol. She went a while without getting, she's gone a while without going to tribal. She has this new relationship with Tiffany, who seemed to be in a good position with her old tribe. And she's good strategically. She knows what to do. And when she has allies, they're pretty solid. So even though I think she may have started the game on a pretty bad footing, I think that she's definitely on the up and up trajectory wise.
For sure. And that's a good segue. I mean, Isaiah, I feel like I'll probably get a similar response from you, but Will, I'm curious about your feelings toward Tiffany on this season because we've talked with every guest. Everyone, the general consensus is she is just the question mark on the cast. Why the hell is she here? This episode, we actually got some content from her, although it still really felt more like Aubrey's moment. And so she is just has not proved to me. She doesn't need to prove anything to me for why she's on this season. She went out and she played Survivor, and now the producers want her here. She doesn't need to prove anything to me. But in the event she did, I feel like I haven't had anything proved to me.
I thought that she was originally cast on the season for drama with Q. And now
I
Yeah.
we
thought so
we're
too.
not gonna get that anymore. I thought that Tiffany was a fun character on the first time around. I think, she, like, bring her back for a second chance season. I wouldn't have no qualms with that. For Survivor 50, like, I feel like get bring back Shan. I feel like Shan would have been the perfect replacement for
Exactly.
It's
She
funny
even
because
got
we
eighth
mentioned
place
that on
too.
the podcast. I think,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I heard maybe Shan had some issues with like production or whatever, but I feel like bring back Marianne, bring back they're so there's they were so there. I had no qualms with the Tiffany return. I just don't know about it for 50, but I also felt like she had a big chance to prove us wrong. So far, she's not giving us that. I think she's a solid, she's never been a bad player. I think that she's showing that. But we still have some more to see. I think that she definitely has, can be fun in the confessionals, definitely. But just so far, she's been a pretty one note character on the show. And I have faith for her to change that around. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, Tiffany, I
Yeah,
think,
for
is
sure.
worthy of a return, just not for season 50. I think, yeah, like a second chance type season would be more fitting for her. I do want to go back to Aubrey because also what we've seen over the course of these past three episodes is this Aubrey versus Genevieve storyline. And I think eventually we're going to see them go to tribal council. Maybe not on this tribe, but I think it's definitely like there's a reason why they're telling this story over the course of these past three episodes. I think we're definitely going to see something like that come to light out of tribal council, and I think one of them's gonna come on top. So yeah, and Genevieve
I'm
is actually somebody that's been getting a really big edit in the pre-merge so far,
Winner pick.
which
It's my winner pick.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but do you think Genevieve is still gonna win the game now?
Um, I don't know. I mean, this
I
is
didn't think
such a
so.
the Genevieve versus Aubrey thing is such a central narrative. I find it difficult to believe one of them doesn't make a deep run. So, I mean, it could also very well be that this is like a first half of the season thing. Maybe they're going to go to tribal council, one of them goes, and then the other one goes like pre-merge. Or all of this content surrounding the two of them, why they've been so central, is just because of this storyline that drives a lot of drama. But then once one of them goes, the other one's just going to drop off a cliff because they're just not that important anymore. I don't know. It's too difficult to say, but it's difficult for me to believe that one of them doesn't do something really cool because this is such a central narrative to give them. And I feel like Genevieve is very much the right person in this situation from how the edit's portraying it to us.
You know what would be
I
crazy if that tribe goes to tribal, and because Tiffany wants to work with Aubrey and told Aubrey that she was the target, or Genevieve's coming after her, Aubrey plays the idol, idles out Genevieve, which is funny because Genevieve was the person that actually found an idol this season, and Aubrey just had it given to her. So I could see, listen, I know there's some people that absolutely love Genevieve that call her Mother Eve or whatever, may not be too pleased about that result. I know coming into this season, I mean, I don't know if anybody here has a different opinion. I think Genevieve is a bit overrated on 47. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. So,
I am one of the Mother Eve truthers, unfortunately, so I am very offended. You are now I'm putting the robot label back onto you now. Okay, sorry. But I am worried for Genevieve. I'm very worried for Genevieve, and I love Genevieve, but I definitely think she has improved her legacy so far this season. I think that she's, played very well on her original tribe. I was worried for her coming into this season because she's coming in alone. She comes in with a reputation as this really cutthroat strategist, but she came in and she did seem to have learned from a lot of her lessons. But I think she made the mistake of just going and throwing out a target without knowing all the information first. I think, if I'm someone on that new tribe, if I know that, knowing that Genevieve was in the majority alliance and Aubrey was in the minority, you probably want to take out Genevieve because that's the bigger threat. Um, so I'm definitely worried that if they do go to tribal, that Genevieve will probably be the more likely boot. And it may not be because of it due to a lot of circumstances outside of her control. But I've been really enjoying her as a narrator. I think that she is very raw in the confessionals, very like just very real and very genuine and very good with her words, while also being a fun player who's willing to like mix things up and make some moves. So yeah.
For sure. I mean, Genevieve, she was my winner pick from when the cast was actually announced, is when I picked her, but I'm sticking to it. She's gotten a lot of positive content. The edit is showing her as in the right in this situation, but I think there is still support for Aubrey in this situation, and we didn't really see a ton of people choose a side necessarily because and we're not really going to see that. I think the dust is going to settle a little bit more on who people really want gone in the next episode. Um, Beyond that, yeah, I'm just really liking her. And one person just popped into my mind, which I actually don't know how much we've talked about every single person. I still, what, 20 people left. So it's difficult to really think. But Camilla, the other Canadian on the cast, she's not winning this season. I gotta be honest. I like her. Like, she's fun. Did she need to be on this season along with Kyle, along with Joe? To be honest, I probably would have been happy with just Joe. Like, Joe's not a great player, but we saw last episode, he's bringing a lot of dramedy to this season. So he's fun. Like, he offers like an interesting little dynamic change for this cast. It's a little bit more boring now that he's with Cole being coach, but it was fun on his old tribe. But Camilla is just, I don't know, all of her content seems so circumstantial. Like, I guess she is just not a main character. And yeah, the edit has been different for a lot of the new era seasons, but I just don't see it for her.
I feel like Joe is so fun because I was not a big Joe enjoyer on 48, but I think Joe has been so fun watching him on the bottom, watching him not be in control. Because I think part of the fun with watching the 48 people is just seeing them in different situation than they were in the original season, when it's not this boring snooze fest of like, a slog. And I think there was potential in the idea of seeing, Camilla, not being on the, being a deceivious player, not being on the season that had this honor and integrity narrative be pushed into it. But it looks like, unfortunately, now she's not on a tribe with Coach. Is she? No,
No.
No, she's on the blue tribe, I think.
she's on the blue tribe. Okay, it does. I I just don't think we're getting the fun from her return that I feel like we could have. But again, I think there's a lot more of the season to go. But so far, she's pretty purpled.
I mean, that's also just the issue with there being too many people and having 20 people in the episode, which, by the way, this is something think I've been bringing up every single episode so far of the podcast. I am very concerned with the pacing of this season. I am surprised we haven't had one tribe win immunity yet. The fact that, and I saw like the photos, like the pre or the press photos, whatever, for this episode. And then there was like one where there was just one immunity idol. So I thought coming into this season, oh, okay, or this episode, okay, we're gonna have only one tribe win immunity, but no, still two tribes winning immunity. So I guess I'd like to know what your guys' opinion on that. Do you think we're gonna switch to one tribe winning immunity soon? Or are they just never gonna do it? Maybe when we hit merge, we're gonna have like, I don't know, like a boot every single day. Like, I don't know. What are your guys' take on the pacing of this season for the
I'm
future?
so I'm so worried for this season because it is off to such a strong start. Sure, none of the votes have been that interesting, but seeing all these characters back again, watching returnees play Survivor for the first time in 5 years, it's just so much fun. And it's the first returnee season with 90-minute episodes. And now I feel like probably starting next episode and probably going for a long time into the post merge, we're going to be seeing two vote offs getting crammed into 90 minutes. So we're not even going to be able to appreciate the fact that this is our first returnee season with 90-minute episodes because they have to cram so much into them. That's my biggest concern. Like I can handle it every now and then, but it's just I'm terrified for the legacy of this season if it just becomes too much.
I may slightly disagree. I am ready to see some blood spilled, personally, because I've been really enjoying this season, despite the fact that there haven't been any crazy vote offs. I'm ready for some crazy vote offs at this point. I'm kind of worried that there is going to be, with only seeing one tribe go to tribal, I feel like there's a lot of tension building, but I feel like there hasn't been a lot of release. And I want to see some of that be released. Now, could it be a mess editing wise? Maybe, but I just hope that the editors can make it through. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready for there to start being two boots in episodes. I don't want them to do anything crazy on post merge. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried, but not that's not like the biggest concern that I have for the season. I'm
They
more,
they haven't disappointed yet. That's the best
no.
thing
No,
is
they
they
haven't.
haven't disappointed us yet. They have my wary confidence so far, but we also have it's fingers crossed. That's all I can say.
I need that Zach Brown segment next week to be
Oh
so
dear
short.
God.
I need that to
Okay.
be like 2 minutes.
Will,
You
do
can do
you
it like,
know who Zach Brown is? I have no idea.
he's like a country singer, right?
That yeah, when I
Okay.
first saw the preview for this season and I saw some guy walking up that I knew wasn't on the cast, when I first saw the look of this guy, I was like, is that Russell Hantz on this on Survivor thing? That's legitimately what I thought for the first like half second I saw that guy.
Let's just take like the let's just look at the spectrum of people we have. We have Billie Eilish and then we have Zach Brown. Okay, just like
At least Zach Brown took the effort to show up.
okay, yeah, I don't even see Billie Eilish like post anything on her like Instagram or whatever. Like, oh, I'm on Survivor. Like, she does not give a fuck. Okay, I don't even like. I guarantee you, like, this is an idea she probably came off with like while like a
I
little.
bet she gets like 5 grand every time she gets a name drop.
Every time they mention her name. Also,
Oh,
Jimmy Fallon's coming up too. Like
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy
At least I
Fallon.
know who Jimmy Fallon is.
Yep.
And
yeah,
Mr. Beast is
Mr.
going to show up.
Beast.
Which, by the way, we finally got the intro to the season, and there's a Mr. Beast coin in it.
Yeah, which I actually want to talk about Mr. Beast because this is a
oh, you do.
little, I think I've heard other podcasts talk about this. I feel like there's no way they actually do this, but Mr. Beast on his show or whatever, he does this thing where he tries to like bribe somebody to like quit. Like he offers like a crazy amount of money if they just walk out right then and there. And we got to get rid of some people. Do you think at some point in the season, Mr. Beast comes out with the briefcase, and in the briefcase, there's like, I don't know, 200K cash. Like, first person to just straight up walk out and quit gets the money, or first couple people. There's no way to do
It would
something. Maybe one person, or maybe not.
I hope the producers would not be that tone deaf. I don't know. I just said like you have my weary confidence.
But that's the thing.
Remains to be seen.
We still haven't seen. Yeah, I know like watching the preview for this season with the celebrity thing, a lot of people are very skeptical. There is one fan vote I think we haven't seen the results for. Well, there's a couple, but there's one in particular I'm thinking of, which is the twist. A lot of twist or like not a lot of twist or something like that. And we haven't seen technically the results for that. And seeing how the fans voted, which has surprised me so far. I'm surprised the fans voted for dynamic, which I know we talked about in a previous episode. I don't think a secret
The
block of him is
plurality.
dynamic. But if the fans voted for a lot of twists to bring him on and we see something crazy like that, or maybe even like a purge type thing, not like I know like in fandom games they do a purge type thing. Maybe they get rid of people that way. I would hope not because so far they've been doing a good job, but
I would
we'll see.
hope that all the eliminations this season are based off of vote off. I doubt that they would like bribe anyone into quitting, especially with how much Jeff hates quitters, especially for season 50. Like with Jeff, like, you know, hammering and like everyone here wants to play and everyone here came to play and everyone here is excited and honored about to see. I doubt that they'd like offer anyone money for quitting. But you know, I will say, like the I watched Survivor 48 with some friends who were not that into Survivor. And a lot of it, you know, we all, as fans, we all think that we'd vote for stuff like, oh, you know, a Final Four vote, like, you know, not, the votes of the casuals are very different than the votes of like the super fans for sure. So any chance that I feel like there could be more chaos, I think that the fan vote is going to lean towards a more chaotic route.
Well, I think, well, I don't know how you guys voted, but this I think will be a hot take, uh, and not typically aligned with the fan base, at least fans like us. I voted for fire making at Final Four, which I know that may sound crazy to some people because, in my opinion, I feel like fire making gives the big threat or the person that we're rooting for an opportunity to win the game. Like imagine like Suri makes it to Final Four and this time around, oh, we voted for a vote and then Suri just goes home. I feel like that gives people like Suri a chance to win. And also I feel like if I would have voted for a vote, it's more for the sake of, oh, it's something different, which I feel like that's not really a good excuse to vote for something just because we haven't seen it in so long. So yeah, I don't know where you guys voted, but I voted for fire making. I know that's probably a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like fire making is a bit better because, like, yeah, people say social strategy of just seeing a vote, but really, maybe 9 times out of 10, we just see a unanimous vote at Final Four anyway.
I mean, yes, but I think, okay, first of all, I think the Suri situation, I think this is actually really bad for Suri. Because you know, Suri's just not that good at fire making. Like we've seen her try to do it a couple times. She's not gonna win it, you know. And I think that there are genuinely some people on this season who may consider taking Suri to the end if she can find. I think Suri is the type of person, even if she is the biggest threat, if she can find a solid ally, that ally may be able to take her to the end. I think a big part, I obviously voted for vote. I think a big part of strategy of Survivor is managing your threat level, of making sure that there are people who are in front of you who are going to get voted out before you, of making sure that you have people who genuinely want to take you to the end. And I feel like for that, it also gives you, you know, also I feel like fire making makes people more content to just go to the final four because they know that you without fire making you have to strategize so that you have a group that can take you to three. With it you can just get a final four and be like, oh, I'll be fine because there's fire, you know. I feel like it removes a big part of strategy, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I voted, I think, for a vote. I've grown in the latter half of the 40s. I've grown much more of a casual fan. Like, I still pay attention, but I don't really watch as consistently. I'm back all in for 50, and then we'll see what happens 51 and 2 beyond. But one thought I just wanted to bring up is, well, one, Zach Brown, it seems like, if I had to guess, he's probably going to be the reward. Because in the preview for 50, we saw him walking into camp with the big old fish on his back. So it's probably going to be that, like, hey, I got this big fish. That's the reward. And then in the preview for next episode, we saw him playing the guitar. So Zach Brown's probably going to walk into camp with this big food reward. And then he's going to strum them a little song on his guitar. But one thing I wanted to say is this is probably be more of my official prediction. And it's something that I don't know who brought this up, but I think I heard it rumored somewhere that potentially what Mr. Beast's role is supposed to be or might be is that he might increase the prize pot for the season. And the way I envision that potentially happening is maybe he shows up and he offers that for every one person that gives up their vote at the coming tribal council, he'll add 100 grand to the winning prize for winning the season, which is a bit more interesting because then if 10 people give up their votes, well, suddenly they're playing for $2 million. I think that's a bit more interesting and it's not game breaking. It gets Mr. Beast out of the way with a bit more of an interesting dilemma than negotiating for rice or whatever like that.
How would y'all feel if everyone had a target? Everyone had a specific target, and to, if you were able to vote out that specific target, then maybe Mr. Beast would give you like a certain amount of money.
Oh, so
Maybe
that's
something
kind
like
of
that.
like it's kind of like
It's like what I said.
the duo dilemma. Instead of an idol, they increase the cash prize.
Will didn't play that season, you idiot.
Yeah, but Kyle, I know you knew the reference.
Mm.
But I do want to
But
say,
yeah, beyond that,
oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say something about the Zach Brown
go ahead.
situation. No, I was going to speak on the Zach Brown situation because for all of the other celebrity cameos, they were kind of tied to like an idea that the celebrity had in terms of a twist with the game. So I feel like it's a bit more than Zach Brown shows up with the big fish and he's like, "Oh, this is your reward for today." I feel like that's going to be tied to. I think there's going to be something more to that. I don't know what exactly, but yeah.
Could be, yeah. So beyond that, I don't know if there's much else to talk about. I don't know, Will, is there anything off the top of your head before we'll move into the draft?
Um, I'm sure I came into this wanting to say something, but nothing at the moment.
We've covered plenty, but so now, Will, I'll send you the list right now. It's time to cover the season 50 draft. Now, Isaiah and I have our teams. You already have your team as chosen by one Michael Stallings. So I just sent it to you on DMs here. I can send it in the Zoom chat as well.
Okay,
Oh, wait, no, I
what's
can't.
that?
No, I can't because I don't have it. I don't
Okay,
have
I'll look up.
Instagram
I'll
open.
open my phone. Give me un momento. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So we're just going to need your thoughts. You did just lose Q. You were the last person to lose someone off your draft team. So give us your thoughts on your draft team moving forward, and then I'll just run through a real quick update for our draft team. The way that our draft works is that for every placement one player gets, they earn a point. So Jenna got first boot, she earned 1 point. Then Kyle was second boot, he got 2 points, so on and so forth. And then for every vote cast against a player, they get negative per vote. So Q got voted out, what, 5-1? So that's -5. So he got 4 points for this episode because he was fourth boot. He was 21st place. He got 5 votes against him, which means he is now at an overall score of -1 for you, Will Coleman. So that wasn't a great pick. That puts you in the negative a little bit more. But in the real negative here, we have
Yeah.
Isaiah. Now, Isaiah, you had the first boot, Jenna, who went out unanimously. I had Kyle because I'm a genius and knew he was going to get medevac because I'm just that smart. But overall standings now, we had Q, 21st place, +4. He had -5, overall score of -1. And Angelina got that one single vote, who Isaiah drafted, putting Isaiah now at an overall score of -8. Stallings, you are at a score of -2. And I am a genius who is at a score of -1. We are all comfortably in the negative for our score, praying we can get into the positives. We will see. So give us your thoughts on this amazing draft, which you have taken part in, Will Coleman.
Yes. Wait, who do I have drafted again?
You have Charlie, Joe, Sari, Chrissy, Christian, Devins, and Emily.
So I think okay. Suri and Christian, I think I feel pretty decent about right now. I think it's pretty clear that Christian is probably the main character of the season. Actually, wait, no, this is a real. So I just like Loki have the OG original Sela tribe, basically.
Pretty much. Stallings was not aware of the tribes when he was
Yeah.
drafted.
I mean, it may just be the fact that that is a tribe that we've seen a lot because they went to tribal the first couple of times. But so far, I feel good about everyone on that tribe. Kyle.
I lost two people so far. I'm the only person to lose two people, but I'm also in the lead because Kyle got medevac.
Also, what's okay? Kyle, I feel like just showed up. He proved that he may be like a top 5 player of all time, and then he just like left, like out of like.
I mean, he came out. He, despite being the second person gone, he came in or he left way more beloved than he ever was in 48.
I feel like this whole season is really good for the 48ers. You know, like everyone came.
Not
Joe.
Camilla.
I mean, Joe
Or
is probably a
Joe.
lot more liked as a character now, but dear God, Joe is not doing well.
Oh no, but I no, but like this is making me like this season makes me like Joe way more. You know, I did not like I came in, and I like came into the season. I was like, oh God, Joe's gonna do so good on 50, isn't he? But you know, now I'm watching it, but like, wait, he's kind of fun. I fuck with this dude.
He's fun because of how much of a mess he is. Yeah.
He's fun to watch suffer. You know, just some people, you know, they're not fun to watch when they're having fun. Okay. Um, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at commenting on this draft.
Oh no, it's fine. This is not a serious
Yeah,
draft.
no.
Okay. Um, Kyle, I don't think Stephanie is winning. I don't.
Hold on. She's got this locked down.
No, Stephanie's got this locked. If I had to go for a preseason, like based off of the preseason, I would think that Isaiah had the best draft. Like if did not watch the season so far, and I had to pick like, pick one of these drafts, I would be on Isaiah's team. But now that I have watched the season, I would definitely be picking Stallings. So yeah, hopefully that's productive commentary.
That was great. Now, Isaiah, before we close off here, I just need to get a little bit of insight from you. You know, you really liked your team, but you are currently sitting at -8. You are in the last place by 6 points, -6 points behind Stallings. How are you planning to recover from this?
Well, basically what I think is going on right now, I just got all of my bad boots out of the way. I got the first boot or whatever, and that's it. But you know what? Everyone else is going to make merge. I know we do extra points for FTC and getting votes at FTC, so I'm just going to hope that one person from my draft makes FTC and gets a lot of jury votes to win. So that's the plan. I'm getting all of the, I guess, negative points out of the way. Let's just say that, because tribes are going to get smaller.
Well, I mean, I've lost two people. Where are my negative points, Isaiah?
Well, you got
Like, what are you
lucky
talking
that
about? You're getting the
Kyle
negative
got
points out of the way,
medevac, so
but
he didn't get any points, like,
I just feel
taken
like
away.
you're not doing well. Anyway, who wants to close us out here? Because I don't know if we have much more to talk about.
Well,
Oh
we
wait,
need to
we
do
have
our
our.
tradition.
You're
We have to
right.
do
We
our
have our big
tradition.
tradition we have to do. I forgot about that.
Yes, which by the way, I just want to say, I think we saw for in the preview for next episode, Charlie was throwing hands. That was my prediction for last episode that Coach and Ozzy would throw hands, I think. Was it last episode? I think
It was
so.
like 2 episodes
Or
ago or
two
something.
episodes. I
Anyway,
don't
Will
remember.
Coleman, for your information, we are doing a really fun thing here. This is brilliant, okay? So we're gonna have you give one basic prediction. This is something you think is actually gonna happen. And then we want one bold prediction. For example, like Isaiah said, his bold prediction for a previous episode was that Coach and Ozzy were gonna beat the shit out of each other. One of my previous predictions was that Christian was going to physically assault Rick Devins. And I didn't get that right. If I'd have predicted that Christian was going to shit his pants on camera, I'd have been a genius. But I didn't get that. So we're gonna ask you for a basic, stupid prediction, and then I want a bold prediction. What's gonna happen next episode that is going to blow people's minds?
Okay. So my basic prediction, I think I'm gonna say two tribes go to tribal. I feel like we've been waiting for that to happen. That's probably gonna happen soon. My bold prediction, I think Rizzo is gonna ask Sari if he can be Rizzo Fields. Because I don't know if y'all watched
It's
BB
bold.
26 with Izzy Fields. I like if any of y'all
Rizzy Fields.
Izzy
This is big.
Fields.
Rizzy
Field
Rizzy
Fields.
God.
Fields.
Field God. Yeah, I think Rizzo is gonna try to induct himself into the Fields family.
All right, my turn now. Okay, my prediction. I'm not going to steal your basic prediction, but let me just be basic as well. I'm going to say that who is it? The Vatu tribe, the tribe that just went and voted out Q. I'm going to say they go again. That's my basic prediction. My bold prediction. I'm going to say not only do two tribes go, but I'm going to say two people get idled out next episode. We're seeing both idols go out. And on top of that, we're going to see the third idol found. All of that in a clean cut 90 minutes of Survivor.
Okay, you guys, well, Will's regular prediction was going to be mine, but and then I was
Yes.
thinking about another one. Kyle, you took it, so I want to be different and say something else. My safe standard regular prediction is going to be that you know what, the Kahlo idol gets found. I don't think that's bold. We've going to be 4 episodes in. I feel like the idol's going to be found. But my bold prediction, hmm, what is my bold prediction?
Think Isaiah. Come on, turn those gears. Beep,
Zach Brown,
boop,
okay?
bitch.
Zach Brown, when he comes out for
He's
the
gonna cast a
reward.
vote.
Wait, no. Hold on, listen. So when he comes out for the reward, right? Um, you know, my bold prediction is that Zach Brown is going to write a brand new original song right there on the island about Survivor 50. And that is part of the
Oh.
reward. They get the sneak peek on his
Get
new
the
hit
honor.
original song.
Oh,
That is not a reward. That is a punishment.
yeah, I don't want if I don't like country music. That
Yeah.
fucking sucks.
But that's my bold prediction. I think it's
This
pretty
is a,
bold.
that's a, that'd be a worse reward than getting to eat
Yeah.
all the fucking not on meat that they had to do in South Pacific.
Reward is you get to watch Jeff do a live performance of fried chicken and waffles from Survivor 48.
Oh, that did
Oh
happen.
yeah,
And,
and
and Jeff did
for all our
rap.
viewing
So
audience,
Yeah,
for
no,
all
he
our viewing
rapped this
audience,
Jeff
round.
did rap. So honestly, hearing this new song from Zach Brown, is that really that bold? I
okay, you
don't
know
know.
what?
Yeah.
I gotta say this to end off on. I feel like we are having missed opportunities here. That each episode has had an opportunity for us to have a bold prediction actually come true. Jeff rapped. We could have predicted that, and it would have come true. Christian shit his pants. Like, this is incredible. We could have so many bold predictions be right, and it would be amazing. But we're not getting it so far. We need to be more accurate with our bold predictions, people. Not you, Will Coleman. You won't be here next week. But Isaiah, we gotta lock in.
I don't know. Like I said, I think my prediction's pretty bold. And by the way, I know you guys said that probably won't be a reward, but have any of you guys listened to his music? Does he just write
Fuck
bad
no.
music? Oh,
I
okay.
didn't even know he was.
He just looks like he doesn't write good music. Maybe that's like
Yeah.
me, but like yeah, maybe I'll give him a listen. See how he is.
Honestly, I probably
I
will too
won't.
because I'm curious now. But
Yeah.
okay, I think that is all that we have for this week. Thanks for watching the Survivor Conquest podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Isaiah.
Hold on, I'm trying to end
Hey,
it.
did I quit